all the residents' letterboxes to destroy my credibility, causing me to be attacked in my own stairwell because they felt I poisoned the relationship with Barrett, and that Barrett did actually do everything right at the time of construction. It's just the law changed after Grenfell. So it made me out to be a liar. But and also they published it all over social media and their website. It was all false. It's been a year and 2 months, and we've kept on and on and on asking them to do it, and they've never corrected that false position. That should be a matter of public concern, that a local authority can go to that level. And then if we throw in the legal threat I received about harassment and the public accusations by councillors on WhatsApp groups with over 190 people of my local neighbours in saying I'm inciting violence towards Councillor Taggart Ryan by just calling her to correct the record,
I mean,
you can see an insidious way of dealing with people.
Now that an experienced KC has jumped in and actually stated quite clearly and publicly that the statements you were making were not directed against anyone personally, but against the council as a whole and their mouthpieces.
Yeah.
Surely any legal challenge to you in that respect has no credibility to it.
Well, I mean, they haven't taken any proceedings against me, and you know, and if they were going to, I don't think it would be very good optics, because all I've done is ask for using Stephanie Barwise's quote, a patently untrue statement, to be corrected. Yes, I've kept on about it because it affects the safety of 1,000 residents in dangerous blocks of flats.
I've said this quote before now. All it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to stand by and do nothing. And the whole thing about what you're doing is you're not by. If anything, the world should be impressed that you've taken a solid stand against what is obvious. I'm trying not to say a word. Allegedly, I want to say one word, but I can't say it. An ambiguous point of view, put it that way. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think ambiguity covers them.
I want to say a word that rhymes with abrupt, but I'm not going to. All right. Okay. So, Hamish, once again, I mean, we have to laud Steve for having stood fast, as nailed his colours to the sticking post, but still.
Yes, I mean, sadly, he's been sort of having to withstand all the flack, whereas in actual fact, when you actually look at it, I mean, and two farcical aspects. First of all, getting Barrett's to remediate their mess up in the first place, which they completely failed at the time of when they built the property. I mean, and a master builder at that. I mean, there's so many damning aspects of exactly what's sort of going on throughout this whole play out of things that we actually see. And we're still waiting one further bit of information. They're going to be publishing, and I hope that's not too far away. They're actually going to be publishing those people that they hold responsible for the Grenfell scenario. They're going to be, and all going well, because one of the major failures was that of the council not to take notice of what the residents had actually brought up. They tried to keep them quiet. They really tried hard to keep them quiet. Unfortunately, Steve has not allowed that to happen with the work he's campaigning. And remember, we're not just campaigning for Royal Artillery Quays. It's not just Greenwich Council which are in breach or Barrett's that are in breach. There are going to be councils throughout the country in exactly the same position, accepting a really completely watered down style of remediation to actually sort of, if you like, that they're meant to accept. But the insurance people aren't accepting it. The finance people aren't accepting it. There's an awful lot of money tied up in this. And it's not just the residents are suffering. If the banks haven't started suffering yet, or the lenders haven't suffering, there's so many people that there's going to be some massive great fallouts.
The knock-on effect of this is going to be felt for years to come, because as we've discussed many times, Steve, no offense to you, but Royal Artillery Quays is barely the tip of the iceberg. And I know full well that the so-called master builders, 35% of their buildings not fit for living in from a fire safety perspective. Moving on, let's try to gloss over that. But that there are many other builders, would you believe it, with an even worse safety record, and on top of that, with existing cladding panels on the side that haven't even been investigated yet. So this is barely the tip of the iceberg, the first step onto the slippery slope. And I'm here for it. The sooner we get this open up into the open, so things can be done to reassure residents of these kind of properties that they are being supported, that they are being looked after, and more importantly, that they have a safe place to live. Hamish, this cannot fly otherwise, not in 2026, for goodness sake.
And also, Gareth, just
Yes.
an interesting point. The National Audit Office did a report on building safety remediation, and they put, just for the buildings above 11 meters, they said it would at least go to 2035, but
Right.
they said it's probably not achievable even 2035. So they said it may take even longer. And that's excluding all the buildings below 11 meters that, and there's millions of flats that are below 11, so, it's a huge problem. And, that's why we need a strong government to take away the temptation to water down what's required in the remediation. And we know Colin Todd's PAS 9980.
Oh, delightful. Delightful.
Delightful individual.
Good old Collie.
Yeah, we will
Collie,
sing to you at some
Collie
point.
Todd.
Collie Todd.
We will
Collie
sing
T.
to him. But the point is, Old Todd Standard is a disgrace, and it's going to be watered down further and further because he's provided the framework in which to do it, and we can't let him succeed. And when the remediation bill draft hits, my desk and my team's desk, we'll go through just how watered down this bill is, and we'll call out Colin Todd in a ceremonial way using a certain poem and a new song.
Yes, marvelous. Because let's face it, Colin, of a man of lofty standing, deserves. I mean, I believe he's OBE. I believe is something like that.
Well, he's in danger.
My goodness.
He's in danger of basically making the whole profession out to be a laughingstock. And we'll look at that poem once again with music when the time comes. But in the context that he's the expert that's behind the remediation bill, and although, yes, there will be a humorous part to it, it's also very chilling because this is basically
it's absolutely
the
bizarre
attitude to someone. And he also took the mick out of disabled people. And we revisit the quote where he goes on about what fun it will be looking at the poor disabled people crawling along smoke-filled corridors.
I just want to make a personal message to Collie T. Remember, the internet is forever. And once you put it out there, it doesn't matter how quickly you delete it. I'm afraid it's out there. And of course, we will take it and we will turn it into a satirical musical thing using your very own words. And I hope you're looking forward to this, Collie, because they're all about you, as I'm sure many things are. Now, Hamish, would you care to take us home?
Well, the thing is, we are looking for certain things to unfold. We would certainly like, and as we've repeatedly actually sort of said, not just to the Greenwich Council themselves, but to anybody out there who can justify exactly what is going on to be right. Or if we are misinterpreting the whole thing, and the experts are misinterpreting it, and the Building Control Department of Greenwich Council are misinterpreting it when they said that it was a breach of building regulations at the time of build. Well, I wonder how many experts they have in the council outside of building control who are qualified to make a comment.
Well, apparently they're all experts. They seem very keen to ignore patent obvious facts. Anyway, Look, it's been a wonderful Cladding Matters. Thank you so much, all of you who've been watching. I can see you've been buzzing in and out. To Hamish McClay, thank you very much for helping us keep this on the straight and narrow. To Steve Day, providing us with no end of both distressing and slightly amusing information. And to the Greenwich Council, you have a perpetual free pass to come and state your case. We give you perpetual right of reply. The door is wide open. Please, we would be delighted if you would step through. I know that some of you are watching. Until next week, please keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. I hope for more amusing revelations. But in the time, please do look after your mental health. Until next week, bye-bye.
There's a tale about some folks with hammers and some nails. They'll polish you the moon, but their word always fails. They'll tear